Chapter 8. Ratio and Proportion. Understanding ratio. I was not well yesterday. Doctor came to check me. He counted my heartbeat. In 2 minutes my heartbeat was 150. Rate. 150 heartbeats upon 2 is equal to 75 heartbeats per minute. Sham can read 88 pages in 4 hours. Rate. 88 pages upon 4 is equal to 22 pages per hour. We generally compare two things by the following methods. 1. Comparison by difference. The distance of Sunil's house from bus stand is 500 meters. The distance of Anil's house from bus stand is 400 meters. There can be many questions formed on the above statements. A. Whose house is nearer to the bus stand? B. Whose house is far from the bus stand? C. By what distance the house of Anil is nearer? The answer for the above questions will be A. Anil's house is nearer to the bus stand. B. Sunil's house is far from the bus stand. C. Anil's house is nearer by 500 minus 400 is equal to 100 meters. We can observe that we are comparing the distance to understand nearer or far by finding their difference. This kind of comparison is called comparison by difference. 2. Comparison by division. The price of a pencil box is rupees 25.00 and the price of an eraser is rupees 5.00. We can say from the above statements that the pencil box is costlier by 5 times compared to the price of eraser, or the cost of eraser is 1/5 than that of pencil box. Cost of eraser upon cost of pencil box is equal to 5/25 is equal to 1/5. This kind of comparison is called comparison by division. The comparison by division is also called ratio. So, cost of eraser ratio cost of pencil box is equal to 1/5. We can compare two similar quantities, that is cost to cost, distance to distance, weight to weight, time to time, etc. There can be no comparison if the quantities are dissimilar, that is, we cannot compare cost to distance, weight to time, etc. Notation of ratio. Ratio is a pure number, it has no unit. We read ratio of 1/5 as 1:5. We have converted fraction into ratio. In the process of conversion, we have separated numerator and denominator by a colon happy smiley, the sign of ratio. Example 1/5 is a fraction, 1 is the numerator and 5 is the denominator. Expressed as 1/5 in ratio. The first term is the numerator, 1, of the fraction is called antecedent. The second term is the denominator, 5, of the fraction is called consequent. 1/5. 1 is an antecedent and 5 is a consequent. Ratio is generally expressed in simplest form. Let us understand the ratio with few examples. Example 1. Weight of a rice bag is 50 kilograms. Weight of a sugar bag is 25 kilograms. Compare their weights. Solution. Weight of a sugar bag upon weight of a rice bag is equal to 25 upon 50 is equal to 1/2. The ratio of sugar bags weight to rice bags weight is 1:2. The ratio of rice bags weight to sugar bags weight is to ratio 1. Example 2. Neeta got 90 marks in an examination. Geeta got 60 marks in the same examination. Compare their marks. Solution. Geeta's marks upon Neeta's marks is equal to 60 upon 90 is equal to 2 upon 3. Ratio is always expressed in simplest form. Geeta's marks ratio Neeta's marks is equal to 2 ratio 3 Neeta's marks ratio Geeta's marks is equal to 3 ratio 2. The above statements are comparison of marks. Equivalent ratios. Ratios can be expressed in fractions. Fractions can be expressed in equivalent fractions. So, ratios can also be expressed in equivalent ratios. First express the ratio in fraction. Then find its equivalent fraction. Convert the same into ratio. Example, find the first 3 equivalent ratio of 8:9. Solution. First equivalent fraction of 8 upon 9 is 8 multiplied 2 upon 9 multiplied 2 is equal to 16 upon 18. Second equivalent fraction of 8 upon 9 is 8 multiplied 3 upon 9 multiplied 3 is equal to 24 upon 27. Third equivalent fraction of 8 upon 9 is 8 multiply 4 upon 9 multiply 4 is equal to 32 upon 36. So 16 upon 18, 24 upon 27, 32 upon 36 are first 3 equivalent fractions of 8 upon 9. Therefore, 16 ratio 18, 24 ratio 27, 32 ratio 36 are the first 3 equivalent ratios of 8:9. Comparison of ratios. Example, compare the ratio 1:2 and 3:4. Solution, follow the steps as mentioned below. A. Convert the ratios into fractions. B. Follow the similar procedure as we followed to compare the fractions. 1:2 is equal to 1 upon 2 and 3:4 is equal to 3 upon 4. Compare 1 upon 2 and 3 upon 4. 1. We have to make the denominators same for comparison of fractions. 2. Take the LCM of 2 and 4. 3. LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. Find the equivalent fraction. 1 upon 2 with denominator as 4. 1 upon 2 is equal to 1 multiply 2 upon 2 multiply 2 is equal to 2 upon 4. But 3 upon 4 is equal to 3 upon 4. Since 3 greater than 2, so 3 upon 4 greater than 2 upon 4. Therefore, 3:4 greater than 1:2. Proportion. A ratio is a comparison of two quantities. Examples, A. The ratio of dogs to cats is 3:2. B. The ratio of gerbils to guinea pigs is 9:6. A proportion is a comparison of two quantities. Examples, A. The ratio of 3:2 is the same as the ratio of 9:6. For every 3 animals of one species there are 2 of the other species. These two ratios are equal to each other. This is a proportion. 3 upon 2 is equal to 9 upon 6. Hey, that looks like a pair of equivalent fractions. When two fractions represent the same amount, they are equivalent fractions. Two ratios that are equivalent to each other are a proportion. How do you know if two ratios are in a proportion? An equation such as 5 upon 8 is equal to 60 upon 96 is a proportion of the two ratios which are equivalent to each other. Either reduce one ratio to lowest terms or raise the other ratio to equivalent terms. There are many real-life applications for proportions. Print a photograph in 3 sizes like. Proportion is a relation of one thing to another in magnitude. When two ratios are equal, we say they are in proportion. Therefore, proportion can be said as equality of two ratios. Example, let us say x ratio y is equal to a ratio b. It means the ratio of x and y is equal to ratio of a and b. Therefore they are in proportion. The symbol of proportion is, therefore we can write x ratio y, a ratio b. Here, first term is x. Last term is b. Second and third terms are y and a. The first term x and the last term b are called the extremes because they are at the two ends. The second y and a third terms are called the means since they are in the middle. Here x ratio y is equal to x upon y and a ratio b is equal to a upon b. So, by cross multiplication we get xb is equal to y. Product of the extremes is equal to product of the means. This knowledge will help us to solve problems in which any single term may be unknown. Continued proportion. In a proportion where the second and third terms are equal, we call the proportion as continued proportion. Example 1. If 25 ratio 10, 10 ratio 4, then we say that 25, 10, 4 are in continued proportion. If x, y and z are in continued proportion, then x upon y is equal to y upon z. Y raised to the power 2 is equal to zx. So, y is called the mean proportion of x and z. So in a continued proportion, a second term is equal to third term. B, y is called the mean proportion. C, the fourth term z is called the third proportion. Unitary method. The meaning of word unit is 1. So in this method, we find out the value of single unit and then calculate the value of desired units. We have so far solved some problems with the knowledge of proportion method. The same problems can be solved by unitary method. Example 1. If the cost of 10 oranges is rupees 100.00, what will be the cost of 8 oranges? Solution. In unitary method, we find the cost of 1 unit first, then proceed to find out the cost of required units. Cost of 10 oranges is equal to rupees 100. Cost of 1 orange is equal to rupees 100 upon 10. Cost of 8 oranges is equal to rupees 100 multiply 8 upon 10 is equal to rupees 80. Answer. Cost of 8 oranges will be rupees 80.